What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be covering Detective Comics number 1034. This issue is written by Mariko Tamaki and drawn by Dan Mora. Now, this is the first issue of Mariko Tamaki's new run on Detective Comics. So it's a new story, nothing to get you guys caught up on, so yeah, if you guys are ready, let's dive into this issue. We begin at the Gotham City Hall district. The Huntress watches as many guests arrive. The reason all these guests are at City Hall is because Mayor Nakano is giving a speech about his plans. Nakano reveals his vision for Gotham City. Bruce, meanwhile, sits at a table listening. The other rich guests ask Bruce if he's a fan of Nakano. Bruce doesn't respond. The reason he's at City Hall is because he's curious to see the man at the head of Gotham's latest anti-vigilante movement in action. He wants to see what Nakano has plans for, like what Nakano will do that may prevent Bruce from being Batman. But instead, Nakano's speech is interrupted. New villains called the Party Crashers crash in through a ceiling window. These Party Crashers are mostly remnants from the Joker War. Bruce jumps out a window and leaves. Nakano and all the other guests kneel under tables, trying not to get shot by the Party Crashers. But that's when you hear a boom! One of the Party Crashers looks up and says, "Crap." Batman crashes through the window and kicks the Party Crasher in the face, saying, "Party's over." Batman takes down all the Party Crashers and secures City Hall. Mayor Nakano asks his advisors, "Is Squad here? What's the status?" "No casualties. Squad has the room. And also, it was Batman, sir." That's the report. Batman secured the room. Nakano looks at his advisor, surprised, but still opposed to vigilantes. Batman drives off in his Batmobile and makes it to the sewers. Bruce works long hours building a new mini-cave. He's been building mini-caves all through Gotham. Living at the heart of Gotham City has its pros, but also has its cons. Pro being better coffee. Con being Bruce actually has neighbors now. Bruce don't like neighbors. Bruce is approached by Neil's wife, Lydia. Neil being one of Nakano's workers. Now, Lydia invites Bruce to a party that all the neighbors are going to. She gives the address and Bruce eventually agrees. He walks away into his home a little frustrated. We fast forward later to Bruce arriving at the neighbors' gathering. He meets a lot of people, one important person being Deb Donovan, a reporter that doesn't really like Bruce. Bruce hears the neighbors' opinions on Nakano. They all like the new mayor, but they also argue about it. Bruce listens to these people for a little bit, but eventually sneaks out to do business. We shift to Gotham City Hall. Nakano talks with his advisors about the Party Crashers situation. Nakano wants to keep building towards his vision of Gotham. Nakano tells one of his workers, Neil, to put everything discussed into notes. Nakano needs to be prepared for the press tomorrow. Neil walks away saying, "Thank you, Mr. Mayor." "Thank you, Hugh," Nakano says. We shift to Batman going into the nights. He finds the Party Crashers' hideout, and he crashes their party. Batman disarms them easily and searches for clues. We shift to a neighbor named Sarah Worth. She opens the door to somebody. Sarah is tired, but she doesn't know what's about to happen to her. We fast forward the next day, and Sarah is missing. Bruce finds out this kidnapping when he walks in on his neighbor, Sam, screaming. The cops are coming up with a plan. "Why are you just standing there?" Sam screams. Deb Donovan, meanwhile, looks at Bruce, saying, "Bruce, what's going on?" Bruce responds, "It's Sarah. She's gone." We see Neil with blood on his hands, walking through the sewers smiling. He is the cause of the chaos going on in Bruce's new neighborhood. And that was Detective Comics number 1034. And it was a solid start to Mariko Tamaki's run. I thought it was good. Now, first off, the art by Dan Mora, amazing. How he draws Batman, the action sequences, the different, just interaction scenes, like Bruce interacting with his neighbors. It was really good. The artwork was just phenomenal. Now, the writing was also solid. Seeing at the beginning, Nakano's speech and the Party Crashers show up. The Party Crashers aren't really great villains, but they don't need to be. They're just good enough villains for this one issue. To see Batman just crash into like a window into City Hall, beat him up, and then eventually later in the issue take them down entirely. So we got some Batman action, which I really liked. And seeing Dan Mora draw Batman is always great. But the real big thing about this issue is the investigation into who actually brought the party crashers upon Nakano's home meeting at City Hall, and who is actually causing chaos in Bruce's new neighborhood. And that is revealed to be Neil, which is an interesting reveal that has potential to lead into some really cool things, alright? Like, I wonder how the story will continue. But that's really it, guys. Like, yeah, we see Bruce interact with his neighbors, but I like that. That was hilarious. Seeing Bruce just be like, nah, I don't want to be on my own. That's it. And then seeing Bruce have meat caves, that was good. It really felt like this whole issue was just set up for the run, which makes sense. It's a first issue of Mariko Tamaki's run. But yeah, we got some action, we got a mystery, we got Bruce and a new status quo, and some great artwork. That's all you need. Like, there's nothing really else, and there's not that much to theorize about. Like, yeah, we find out about Neil, but we don't get enough information about him to be like, oh, maybe he has ties to other things in Batman's mythology, or maybe he's just a regular guy. There's not that much to talk about, but still a good issue, and I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10, solid. I recommend it. And yeah, guys, tell me your thoughts on this issue down below. Where you think this story will go? What do you think about Dan Mora's artwork? What do you think about Mariko Tamaki's writing? I'm actually excited to see what Mariko Tamaki does, because she did a great job on Future State Dark Detective. So I actually, I was skeptical for a Dark Detective, but I'm actually excited for this, because Mariko Tamaki proved herself. She showed that she's actually a really good writer. If you guys like the video, give a big thumbs up. New channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next Detective Comics video. And yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.